Job search fatigue is a real thing. I mean, even in normal economic times, searching for a job can be exhausting. It can be very frustrating. You get limited feedback. It seems like everywhere you turn, you're going down a dead end. You add a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic crisis to the situation, and you're just glomming on an entire heap of new frustration. If you're struggling right now and you just feel like you're at your wit's end with your job search, please come on back because I'm going to share something that's going to be absolutely vital to you. How's it going, Nez Nation? Thank you so much for being in this video. I'm Professor Nez, your executive career coach, personal branding coach. If you're interested in learning how to grow your impact and income online, consider subscribing because I'm bringing you brain-busting content every single week. Make sure you stick around to the end because I've got something for you that's going to take you even beyond this video that's going to help you like you've never imagined. All of these tips that I'm going to share with you are the same exact things that I tell my clients. And so you're going to get data-driven strategic approaches on how you can really find a gig, how you can end your job search frustration, and really lessen job search fatigue. First thing that's really, really important is you've got to do a self-audit. I want to know, let me know in the comments down below, how many jobs have you applied for? Because even though I said your LinkedIn and your resume are essential to getting a job in today's marketplace, really one of the things that's absolutely important when you're searching for a job is volume. You got to understand something. People that are reading your resumes, the people that you're submitting your applications to, these hiring managers, HR directors, what have you, they get stacks and stacks and stacks upon resumes and applications. Just because you have amazing qualifications, just because you have a modernized LinkedIn and resume does not guarantee you a callback. These people are just busy. And so volume is really, really important. I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below, as of this recording, as you're watching this, how many job applications have you filled out in the last, let's say, 90 days? If that number, I'm just going to go ahead and say this, if that number is less than 100, you're not applying enough. I want to share a very important stat with you. Out of every 100 applications, an actual positive return or callback rate is 5%. That's 5 people calling you back for every 100 applications. I also want to share a really quick story. When I was first starting out years ago, becoming a professor after I left my family business, I went into the public sector for a while. This was during one of the first economic crashes that we experienced, even before 2007. And none of my colleagues, none of my peers could get any jobs at all. I was literally applying to 100 jobs per week. Sometimes even per day. I really, really worked hard and I was able to accrue the kind of gigs that I wanted at that time. So your frustration and your feeling of distress and lostness, first of all, I want to say that's okay to feel that way. There's nothing wrong with you. It's actually very, very common, even if we weren't going through a major crisis right now. But I have to say this, or else I'd be remiss and I wouldn't be doing my job. You've got to apply and you've got to play the numbers game. Even with a career coach like me, or even with a modernized resume and the best LinkedIn profile on planet Earth, you've got to play the numbers game. These people are super, super busy. I can almost guarantee that most of you are going to put in the comments, or most of you might be thinking, man, I only applied to 10 jobs or 20 jobs. Even 50 jobs is not enough. You've got to go after it. I just want to give you perspective because I don't think too many people understand that whenever a job posts, there's literally thousands of people that can apply to these jobs, because especially right now, because everybody's furloughed, people are getting laid off. COVID has disrupted absolutely everything. If you're watching this way in the future, companies still go through major changes, transitions. It happens all the time. And so even if we're not going through a crisis, these people get tons and tons of applications. So just keep that in mind. It's not personal. The reason they're not calling you back, the reason they're not ghosting has nothing to do with you. It may have absolutely zero to do with you. It could just be that somebody else was maybe better fitted, or they didn't even get a chance to look at your application and resume due to volume. The second thing that I want to say to you, if you're experiencing a lot of fatigue and maybe even job search depression, dare I say, don't be afraid to just take some time off. Don't feel inadequate. Don't feel weak. If you just literally, you're like, you know what? I can't take this anymore. You're a human being. Okay. It's human to feel pain. It's human to feel the sting of rejection. And if you've gotten multiple rejections, I want you to know something. There isn't a successful person on planet Earth that hasn't received many, many rejections, myself included. I've received tons of rejections where I even knew I was perfect for that position. It's not personal, and you should take some time off. There's nothing wrong with saying to yourself, this is really about self-care. I know it can sometimes sound woo-woo and a little bit bumper stickery, but it's so absolutely vital to your mental health. Your mental health is extremely important, and rejection can sting, especially if you get multiple rejections. Don't be afraid to just literally take a step back, take a break, and say, you know what, I'm not going to even deal with this. Take a couple weeks off. I understand most of us, we don't have the luxury of that choice. It's an urgency in our situation. We got mouths to feed. We got, rent to pay, mortgage to pay. I totally get that. But don't be afraid. Even if it's just a couple of days, just shut off everything. You'll be amazed the healing power, the resurgence and revitalization that can create. You're not alone. Everybody has gone through this. I have gone through this. All my clients have gone through this. I've got some clients right now that are so qualified for these positions and they're not getting any callbacks. You're not alone. This happens. You just got to keep pushing. You got to not take things personal. Understand the landscape. Understand that these people get millions, if not thousands. Understand that these people get thousands, if not more, applications for every single job post. It has nothing to do with you. I promise you. Now, this last tip is going to be very, very tactical, and it's going to really help everybody who's looking for a job, even if you don't have job search fatigue or frustration from looking for a job. This is the go-to. I use this with my clients all the time. I've used this myself to get gigs in the past before I started running my businesses, and I promise you that this stuff works. If you're getting ghosted, if you're not getting any callbacks, if you know you're qualified, maybe even absolutely perfect for a job, and you're still, seemingly shadow banned. You filled out the application. You applied maybe before anybody else did. You've even emailed a couple of people. You've tried to email people. This is what you need to do. You need to pick up that phone. Don't be afraid to call the company. Even call HR. Find a way. You need to be creative. You need to get in contact with somebody, and you need to make your presence known, especially in today's marketplace. There's just so many people out there. There's so many resumes. There's so many things that these hiring managers and HR people are being bombarded with every single day. You got to do something creative to stand out. Dare I say, pick up the phone and just cold call, leave a voicemail. Don't, be pestering, but just really communicate in a professional way. Hey, I applied for a position not that long ago. I would really, really greatly appreciate it if you could just give me a call back. I'm available anytime. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. Here's my cell. Here's my other email. Show them that you are very interested. Show them that you're passionate about this position. That confidence will bleed through. And I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 times, the hiring manager, HR person, or whomever may just be like, oh, I didn't even know this person submitted an application, but you know what? They called me, they left a voicemail, they emailed me. Again, do this sparingly. You don't want to pester them. You don't want to annoy them, because that will kill your job search faster than anything. But if you do it, tactfully, if you do it sparingly, I would say, if you haven't heard from a job post in 14 days to 21 days, that would be a good time to start with an email, try to find a contact. Well, Professor Nez, I can't find any contact information. Call the company, call a different department. Just say, hey, I'm trying to reach HR. Hey, I'm trying to reach the person who's in charge of hiring for this position. You maybe even, dare I say, show up to the headquarters, show up to the office, and just say, hey, I was in the neighborhood. I applied to a job. I'm telling you, this stuff works. I applied to a job about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Who's in charge of hiring for that position? Or can you lead me to the HR office? And then just try to contact them. Try to make your presence known. You got to be creative. You got to go after it. Nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody. I don't care if you hire me. I don't care if you hire the best executive career coaches on the planet. It's still up to you. Nobody is going to go after it more than you. Nobody's going to go out of their way to make sure you got a beautiful, cushy job more than you. This is your personal investment. You should be invested in every single opportunity, every single avenue or route to get there. And so go after it. Don't be afraid to show up to the office, even unannounced. Don't be afraid to cold call. Don't be afraid to find different ways. Reach out to them on LinkedIn. Reach out to their colleagues. Reach out to somebody who's connected to them on LinkedIn. There's so many different ways you can do this, but you've got to go after it. Just this spray and pray mentality where you just kind of apply to all these jobs, sit back and pray and hope somebody calls you back, it just ain't going to cut it. Lastly, I just want to add this. Please, please, please heed this. Do not forget this. It's not easy. Finding a job is not easy. Finding a career where you can take care of yourself, your family, and your loved ones is not easy. Go easy on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. The entire act and the entire process is difficult enough without you bombarding yourself with feelings of inadequacy, feelings of low self-esteem, feelings of imposter syndrome, feelings of fatigue, depression, anxiety, questioning yourself in negative ways. Don't allow the negative thinking to blockade you. You have the power to do this. I'm telling you, we've all gone through this. You're going to be all right if you go after it. Apply hard. Find creative ways. Don't be afraid to find different ways to contact. Find different ways to announce your presence and your unbridled passion for this position. You got to find creative ways, and I promise you, you're going to be all right. Hey, I'd love to hear from you too, by the way. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you have any amazing tips for, overcoming job search fatigue and frustration and finding a gig in today's economy or beyond? I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. I respond to all the comments personally myself. So I'd really, really love to hear from you. And please, if you got any value from this video, it would mean the world to me if you could smash that like button, hit that like button down there below, because it really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And you've got to consider subscribing if you want to grow your impact and income online. We talk about so many things on this channel when it comes to building your brand, advancing your career, growing, starting and scaling your online business, different ways to monetize, different revenue streams that you can build on the side. We talk about a lot of things, basically making the internet your friend. You've got to consider subscribing. I'm giving you brain-busting content every single week. Plus, I've got my live office hours. Every single week, I've got live office hours. I do a live stream where you can come on and ask me anything. It's like free coaching. I mean, this channel's amazing, if I don't say so myself. So I'd love to see you there. Really appreciate that you've made it this far. And before you go anywhere, make sure you go check out this video. If you like this video, you've got to go check out this video right here and this one as well. Make sure you subscribe down there, and I'll see you over there. Don't go anywhere. Go check this out. I'll see you over there right now.